Hi, and welcome to the Creative Treehouse. My name is Robin Broom, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I'm so glad you stopped by the Treehouse today. Today, we are making a desk calendar. It's easier to see laying down, but it actually stands up. It has the little easel stand, and it has a pocket, so it holds your sticky notes, and it will also hold a pencil, a short little pencil, or a short pen as well. And let me get that over there. It uses just a little bit of designer series paper and only one piece of cardstock. This was like the Country Inn suite maybe, and this one is a brand new lavender paper DSP, and it's just really cool and unique in that it does have the pencil holder. So we're going to walk through that today, and I'm going to use this DSP, or a piece of the DSP. I think it's Garden Walk, and I think it was in the last catalog, so it may be on the clearance rack or something. I haven't looked it up, but it's really pretty, and we're going to use a piece of Pretty Peacock cardstock. So it just takes a little bit of this. You could make several desk calendars from this, and you need just one piece of cardstock, and I've chosen Pretty Peacock to be the cardstock. All right, let's walk through it all together. We've done this one probably a couple years ago, and I'm just kind of redoing it a little bit. Oh, and notice the glass mat. This is brand new right now as of this video. If you join the Fine Feathers team, this is something that you can get for free in your starter kit. It is a $60 value. It's really heavy. It cleans up so well. So many wonderful things about it, but I digress slightly because we need to get on with our desk calendar. All right, so we have our piece of DSP. I'm going to pull the arm out on the trimmer because what we're going to do is we are going to cut it at 10.5. So we're basically only cutting off 1/2 inch. Okay, so we'll do that. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4. So that's our first piece is 3 3/4 by 10.5. Right? Okay. And then, so this is one that we need. And then I'm going to take this one. It's already the correct width, and that correct width is 4 3/4. And we are going to turn it on the long side and cut it at 7 inches. Okay, so the first one was 10.5, and this one's 7. So this is correct now. And now from this piece, I am going to cut one more out of cardstock, and it's 2.5 by 2 1/4. So 2.5 by 2 1/4. Okay, and then we'll get our scoreboard out, and we will score everything. Move my trimmer out of the way. And actually, you know what? Let's bring the trimmer back. I forgot about the DSP. Let's bring it back real quick. All right, so we need 2 pieces of the DSP. And the DSP is cut at, one is 3.5 by 3, and the other one is 3.5 by 2 1/4. So 3.5, and all these measurements will be on my blog, which is creativetreehouse.blog. So 3.5, and then we'll slide it over. The first one will be 3.5 by 3, and then 3.5 by 2 1/4. Okay, so that just leaves us this little piece here, and then we can move those over here. All right, now we're ready for the scoreboard. Okay. All right, the longest piece, we're going to start with that one. That ends up being our easel. All right, and I'm going to bring it back down here so you can see it a little better. All right, and we're going to score it at 4. And people sometimes ask which end. This one has a smaller ball tip, and this one's a larger one. I always use the smaller one. All right, so we're going to go 4. Then we're going to go 8. And then, whoa, jumped out of the track. 8, then 9, and then 10. 4, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and that is all we have to do for this long piece. Now we'll get our shorter piece, and it will also be scored with the long edge on the top. And we're going to score it at 4 and 4.5 to start out with. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it counterclockwise, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to turn it 180 and do the same thing at 4 1/4. Well, we're chipping the track again. All right, and then I'm going to turn it counterclockwise once again. And I don't know that you'll be able to see it, but we've got the 2 marks here, the 4 and the 4 1/4. And so this section is smaller, this one's larger. From the larger section, we want to score just down to that horizontal line. And we're going to score it at 1 1/2 and just down to that first horizontal line. I'm going to turn it around 180, and we'll do the same thing at the 5 1/2 mark, just down to that horizontal line. And that one will match with the 1 1/2 that was over here. Okay, and that's all we have to do to that piece. And then our little piece, all the other ones were scored on the long side. We're going to score this one on the short side, and we're going to score it at 1/2. We are having all kinds of jumping issues. 1, 1 1/2. It's probably the angle that I'm sitting at. And 2. So it just leaves a little border. I'm going to go back and redo these because they jumped at the very end. Okay, so 1/2, 1, 1 1/2, and 2 for the short piece. Now all of our pieces are done. We can take the scoreboard and move it out of the way. Now let's see. The first thing we can do is we can take the long piece, and we are going to take our bone folder and we are going to score it. You've got 2 sections that are relatively the same, and I'm going to fold the first one over, and that is where we're going to fold and burnish it right there on that score line. Okay, and then we're going to take it and take our corner rounder. Now I have this retired trio punch, and if you don't have it, that's okay. Any corner rounder will work. And I'm going to use, it's going to go in with both pieces of paper. And I'm going to just punch it all the way down, turn it, and do the other edge as well. Make sure I've got it in there correctly. All right, so there is that one. All right, let's slide that one out of the way for a moment. And we're going to take the shorter piece that had all the score marks, and we'll take our paper snips, and we are going to cut. We made these 2 little marks up. We've got the 2 long horizontal marks. We've got those 2 short ones that we did, the 1 1/2 and 5 1/2. And so each of these short ones, we're going to cut up to that horizontal line. So we're going to just cut all the way up to the line and then stop, like so. And then on this one, we are going to go back up the horizontal line and cut off that rectangle. Okay, and then on this, we're going to turn it into a tab, and it just makes it a little bit cleaner if we do the edges like that. All right, and then I'm going to turn it around 180 and do it again. I'm going to just cut up all the way to the horizontal line on each of these verticals. Okay, and on this one, I'll go up the horizontal line to cut off the rectangle. Don't quite get it. And then I will miter and make that a little bit more of a tab. All right, let's clean up our little pieces. All right, and now that we've got that, we have room to be able to take our corner rounder and round the corners so it will fit in there. Okay, so we're going to do, all right, I think it's moving. Okay, that one and that one. All right, and now we're going to corner round. We have 2 pieces of DSP. The larger piece we're going to corner round. And if you have a directional pattern, you want to be sure that this is the top and this is the bottom. The long side is top and bottom, and the short sides are the sides, okay? Because you don't want your flowers going the wrong way, growing the wrong way. So this one's sort of directional, but anyway, so we're going to do just the top portion of that. And that is all of the corner rounding that we need to do. All right, let's move back to this piece, which is our easel piece. And we are going to take our bone folder again. And there are score marks here, here, and here. The very first one, I'm going to take it, I'm going to bring it up, and we're going to score that one. Then the next line, we're going to bring down. It's going to be like an accordion. So it goes down, up and down and up and down, like mountains and valleys. And the last one goes back up. So it will go up. Okay, and then we're going to take our tear-in tape, and we're going to put tear-in tape on that very last small piece. Right across here. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and just pull that backing off. All right, and I'm going to close it down on top. Like that. And now while I've got it like that, I know that this is the back, the one that I just did. So I'm going to flip it over, and this is the front side. It's going to be pretty much covered up, but I want the back side to be in the back and then we're going to put some tape here. We're not going to pull it off yet. We're just going to go ahead and, while we have this in place, we'll just give it some tear-in tape, because the calendar will be attached to that, and it will be all the way up against the sides. There will be no overhang at all. So I think that's good. I might want to add just one more piece in the center for good measure. All right, and now, so there's our little easel, and this is our back. That's going to be the front. Let's pull it off to the side, and let's move to, well, let's go ahead and do the little tiny one, and that will be what holds our pencil. And we're going to burnish all of those, which is a little bit tricky because they're small, or I find it trickier. But we're going to burnish each of those score lines, and then we're going to put it together. Okay. All right, I'm going to flip it to where the skinny edge is right here, the smallest one. It's narrower than the others, and I'm going to take tear-in tape, and I'm going to put it on that side. Now the tear-in tape is just slightly larger than that piece, just slightly, but that's okay. We're going to go butt it up right up against the score line. Okay, and then we're going to pull off our tear-in tape. And then what I find the easiest to do is I'm going to flip it over like that. So here's my tear-in tape. And then I'm going to bring this over to it. Okay. And so there you've got your box. And I'm going to put it back down again because this is the back, and I'm going to put tear-in tape on that section. And then we'll leave it alone for just a few minutes. So it's going to get a piece of tear-in tape on here. So, and I'm calling it the back just because that's where we put it together. So that's the back, all right? So we're going to set that aside just right there. Now we'll move to our big piece, the one that's going to actually have the calendar. All right, we can first, let's go ahead and make it look pretty. We're going to put our DSP on here. Grab this time I'm going to use just the liquid glue, the Tombow liquid glue. And I'm going to put the DSP on, and it's going to go right there. All right, and our other piece of DSP, we need to turn this over, and I'm going to flip it around. Okay, so we've got DSP here, and we've got DSP that we're going to put right here. Okay, and that's the smaller piece of DSP, and it's going to go right there. Okay. All right, I'm going to flip it back over again, and now I'm going to burnish the corners, or all the score marks. I find it easier to do it afterwards and not before I cut. So you've got each of those pieces on both of the sides. The long piece, the tab, another long piece, and then we have these two score lines. We have this one and this one. Okay, so those are all done. Now what we need to do is we're going to use 3 more pieces of the tear and tape. All right, we've got one that's going to go on this long tab, and then another one further down on the other long tab, and then one more right here. We're not going to put any on that particular one. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the tear and tape off of this, and I'm going to turn it around like so. So this tape is going to end up right here on the back, and I'm just going to lay it down, positioning it to where it's close to this edge and close to that edge without going over. Okay, and I'm going to just flatten it down. Then I can take this piece of tear and tape off, the backing, and we're going to flip it on top like so. And then now you've got your pencil holder. All right, now I'm going to take these 2 backings off here, and there's one little thing that's kind of important. I'm going to take this tab and bring it down so that when I set this up on top, there will be a place for, just kind of reinforces it. You've got this here instead of somewhere else, so that, because that's where the pencil end is going to be, so that just kind of helps reinforce. So I'm going to hold it like that. I've got it together, and then I'm going to put this up on it. I'm going to line these front corners up, and then bring that tab to the back. Okay, and so you're almost there. Now, same thing here. I'm going to bring the little tab in. I'm going to bring my back one forward, and then my forward one to the back, and you've got your little box. Okay, now what we need to do is we're going to take the easel, and this is going to go right there on top of the easel. So now we can take all our backings of this off. And once you get into the groove, you can make a whole bunch of these. I think I've made 6 just pretty much lickety-split. This will be number 7. And I've come up with a really cool idea to make one for guys. I hadn't thought about that until today, so I'm going to use the new tool one and make some for guys. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my hand in here, and I'm going to line up the top corners of both of these in the edges and get it as close to even as I can. Looks like one of my corner rounders was not as even as it needed to be. Okay, and then press it all down, and you can put your hand in. All right, and my side just came off. I didn't do a good job holding that one down. All right, so there is all of that, and that's what it looks like from the side. Now the only thing we need to do is we need to put the calendar itself on. Now the calendar itself, these come from Tailored Expressions, and I've done these for several years. They're relatively inexpensive. They come in a set of 10, so highly recommend those. Before I pull that off, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, and we're going to use tear and tape on this. Find the end of my tear and tape. I'm going to put some at the top and the bottom. And because people are going to be pulling on this, I want to be sure I've got quite a bit. I'm even going to put some on the sides and then some diagonally in the middle as well. So, because we want our desk calendar to stay sturdy and strong for all 12 months of the year. All right, so now I'll pull the backs off of the tear and tape, and we'll be able to stick it on, and we will be pretty much done. You can also continue to decorate. If you use the sticky notes, they do cover up a lot. So, all right, and then what I do to put this on is I'll stick my hand in, and I'll make this even side to side, and I line it up with the top of the DSP there. So get it lined up, and the same amount on either side, and then you can press from the inside. Now I can pull off the advertisement, and we have it. So let's see if I find where did my little pencil go? I don't know where my little pencil went, but I've got a pen. I'll put the pen in here. And yeah, I don't know what I did with oh, there it is. I see it. I think I like the pencils better. They're the same ones that you do, I think, when you're playing putt-putt golf. I don't know about regular golf because I've never played regular golf. Then we'll put our notepad in there. There's just enough room, and I think it's perfect. I just love it. And so if something's happening and you need to take out your notepad and make a quick note, I think that's just perfect, and mark your calendar as well. So there is that. And then again, different colors, and you could add other things. You could put a stamped image here. So just show you just a few of them. Yep, and here is one. Those are pretty much the same. Oh yes, I used one that was Highland Heather. So yeah, look at all of those. They're just fun. Fun. Easy to do, great gifts. I recently had a little giveaway, and everyone who commented on the countdown to the new mini catalog is getting one of these calendars. That's why I was making so many. But anyway, that is the calendar for 2024, the desk calendar with a pencil holder. Hope you'll enjoy doing this as well. I think you will. If you come up with something really fun and fancy, let me know. And I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And if you have, thanks so much. I appreciate that so much. And look out on my blog, creativetreehouse.blog, for all of the measurements and directions. And also, I think I do have a really cool idea for a guy one. And so you check out in the next week or so and see if I've been able to successfully make that. But anyway, so thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you next time in the treehouse. All right, bye-bye for now.